So it seems appropriate on a signal-themed episode to give you a case study of when reading signals goes wrong. And we've been down this road before. It's not my fault, but Shahar Shenhar is the source of a rich vein of great stories, and I believe it is one of my duties is to
it's not my fault.
Just act as a historian and a storyteller, and kind of disseminate these stories unto the general public, because people should know. It is critical. So this is actually in Legacy. It's not in Draft, but the signals part is accurate. Shahar is playing a mono white, death and taxes deck. This is for those who don't play Legacy, this is a white weenie deck that uses just a bunch of hate bears, like cards like Thalia make all spells cost one more, and cards like Mother of Runes give creatures protection from a color, and like Rashad and Port Wasteland to cut off your opponent's mana. Just all these very hateful cards. You're trying to make it so your opponent doesn't do anything. He mulligans to 5, not a good start, and keeps a hand with no lands, but an Aether Vial, because the deck's all cheap creatures. So Aether Vial, if he draws any one land, Aether Vial makes the deck tick. And plus you get to scry, and he was on the draw. So he keeps this 5-card no land hand. Scries to the bottom, then draws for his turn and misses. So doesn't play anything on turn 1, just says go. His opponent has played a Scalding Tarn and cast Gitaxian Probe to look at Shahar's hand. And here, Shahar decides he doesn't want to send his opponent give his opponent any information. He does not want to send a signal. He does not want his opponent to know what he's playing, and he thinks he's not going to win. So he concedes the game in response. So let me say the first thing wrong with that. The first thing wrong with that is that Shahar was still probably like 5% to win this game. It's not certainly not a favorite, maybe even a little more than 5%. But let's say his opponent just didn't have a good hand. Like let's say his opponent's hand was just like 5 lands and some random spells. And then Shahar immediately drew a land and played a Vial. Maybe he wins the game. Probably not, but he gave up some equity there. Second is what's going to come next. So Shahar saw Gitaxian Probe and Scalding Tarn. He sideboards as if his opponent is playing a Delver of Secrets deck. So he sideboards in removal for Delver and Graveyard Hate, rest in peace, because his opponent is playing a deck that cares about the graveyard. They have cards like Tarmogoyf. Mm-hmm. Game 2. Shahar draws a hand that has Sunlands in it, which kills Delver of Secrets, and Rest in Peace in it, which makes Tarmogoyf nothing. He's thinking, yeah, this is going great. Turns out his opponent is playing a Sneak Attack deck, which revolves around the cards Show and Tell and Sneak Attack to put Emrakul and Gristlebrand into play. So not only did Shahar sideboard in cards that are blanks, like straight up blanks, cards that do not do anything.
Sunlands against Emrakul.
That is not a good match. Well, if you have 5 Sunlands, no. Shahar also was playing a deck that had access to Containment Priest, Phyrexian Revoker, and even Pithing Needle. So he could have sided in cards that were insane against them. In fact, Sneak and Show is one of Death and Tax's best matchups.
Yeah, it is. They've got Caracas in the main. Yeah,
Caracas is another card that's great against him. Not that Shahar sided those out, but so then, and to cap it all off, to put it just put a cherry on top, Shahar's opponent knew what he was playing the whole time. So, this was just one of the most amazing stories I'd heard, where Shahar concedes the game, he has a chance to win, in order to conceal information. The information that actually got concealed was what his opponent was playing. His opponent knew what he was playing, and Shahar, he definitely got too clever. He assumed his opponent was playing one deck from seeing these like 2 cards, and his opponent was just playing another deck. Sideboard completely wrong.
That's amazing.
Let's just say that sometimes you need a little bit more information. The data point of Scalding Tarn and Gitaxian Probe is not enough for Shahar to read the signals. And that I believe is the point of our podcast today.